Welcome to CMO Weekly, the show where we sit down with the world's top marketing leaders to uncover the bold moves, tough lessons, and breakthrough ideas that have shaped their journey. Every episode, we go beyond the headlines to explore what it really takes to build brands, lead teams, and stay ahead in a fast-changing industry. I'm Hayley Clover, and this is CMO Weekly. This episode is brought to you by Open Fortune, the only marketing company putting your brand inside actual fortune cookies. Yep, those cookies that you crack open after dinner, they're now prime real estate for your brand message. Open Fortune distributes millions of branded fortunes every month through thousands of restaurants nationwide and in over 30 countries worldwide, giving brands a moment of surprise and attention that no banner ad can match. If you want to reach people while they're smiling, engaged, and ready to share something fun, head to openfortune.com to learn more. Okay, I am really excited about my guest today. Today's guest is a visionary leader whose career journey reads like a blueprint for bold transformation in iGaming. Jesper Kärrbrink is the CEO of Immense Group, where he's overseeing the evolution from a single online casino brand to a multi-brand platform built for global reach. Jesper has previously led giants like Mr. Green and Svenska Spel and has helped steer companies like Parry, Internet Vikings, and DeWiz Golf as chairman. He's also published a book. He's an author and a respected voice in responsible marketing, which we'll definitely dive into more, where he's candidly admitting that the industry overdid it on ads in Sweden. Jesper has set out to spark real innovation, not just iteration, and build brands that stand for sustainability, creativity, and player protection. Jesper, welcome to the show.
Thank you. That was, wow, what an entry. That was a verbal red carpet. I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's
Thank
good.
you,
Yeah. Your career, as I was doing my research, is really incredible. It's super fun. And, I think if anything, you're giving your time to me. You need a hype person at the beginning to really give you your bio and remind you what you've done so far in your career.
Yeah, true. No, yeah, I might have had a fun or whatever you call it career, but I have had a lot of fun in doing all that, and that kind of the key measurements for me. Without that, it would never happen.
I completely agree. That's, if you can find a job, my dad always used to say this, if you can find a job that doesn't feel like a job, it's something that you love to do, then
Exactly.
you never work a day in your life.
No, true. That's absolutely the way it is.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I want to dive into that career for sure and talk a little bit about how you've ended up now at Immense Group.
Mm-hmm.
But can you talk and take us back a little bit to how you first got into the iGaming space? What was it that kind of brought you to this journey?
Yeah, I still remember it. I'm a regular Swede doing my small part of weekly betting on the sport, on the football game and such, buying some scratch tickets whenever. And then I'm working as a investment manager. I have a long CEO career, like 30 years something. But I had a break for almost 4 years where I was an investment manager in a private equity company. And I was quite bored. I was too young to do that at that time. It was not that operational. And I'm standing in an escalator in a warehouse in the middle of Stockholm, and my phone is calling, and there's an unknown number, and I'm about not to answer it, but I answer it, and this is the headhunter asking if I'm interested in being part of the process for the Svenska Spel, the CEO role. And I don't even think the escalator moved more than this before I said yes. So that's when it started. This is 2004, something like that. So it's 20 years ago. And then I came into Svenska Spel. At that time, the iGaming was starting. It started a couple of years earlier. A lot of that started in Sweden, actually, with Betsson, Unibet, and all these brands, and to some extent UK, of course. But still, it was a large part of these companies came from Sweden. So I took that job and thought that this is going to be super fun, and it was. It was actually more fun than I ever realized. A part of that fun was to fight the kind of illegal internet companies at that time. So I was named the last defender of the monopoly. That was the title I got in the newspaper when I accepted the job and when it was public. Yeah, the last defender of the monopoly. Sounds like a Star Wars sequel. So, and then, and that of course meant that the only way to fight them is to do the same, because they were coming and they were outside the regulation. I quite early, I understood that there's a couple of things we have to do. First of all, we need to talk about changing the regulations. So rather have them on the inside, so you all compete on the same kind of terms, than having them on the outside, because they're taking market share every bloody day. So that was one. The second was, of course, to be as good on the online part as we could and use our amazing Svenska Spel brand to kind of boost that journey or turbo speed that journey. And the third thing we decided, and I realized quite fast, is that, okay, we have one USP here, and that's a true USP. That is that we, at that time, I'm not saying that it's the case now, but at that time, we could prove that we protect our players better than they did. And then we actually launched, still remember this, I'm in a meeting, and we have this super smart people from Gothenburg, and they are mathematicians, and they have this kind of machine learning, perhaps not machine learning, but they have this algorithm to detect. They read patterns in the data. So they had used that to detect churn from Volvo car owners. They promised me that they could reduce our churn on Lotto. So when they stop playing, we can find them and you can ping them and they start playing more. And I said, wow, this is cool. And then I asked them, okay, could you reverse that? And they was like, you mean, yeah, could you find those guys that shouldn't play as much as they do? and they were a bit perplexed and said, yes, it's just a mathematical model. Of course we can. So then that was when, and then I pulled them with Thomas Nilsson, and later called Sustainable Interaction, because I knew that he was the kind of the authority on responsible gaming in Sweden at that time. We met a couple of times, and a really bright and clever guy, psychologist. And I put you together. We give you a budget, quite substantial budget, and you built this. And they did. So that was the play scan. And when we had that, I could go to the government, because they were kind of giving the permissions for us to launch different games. Then I told them, with this, no one else has this. So we can protect the players better than anyone else. So it must be better that we canalize them to us than out of Sweden. So that actually, 20 years ago, that was the first time when we talked about canalization. I think that was invented by us at Svenska Spel as a concept for the gaming industry. We need to canalize these players to the Swedish market. Otherwise we lose them, and no one is taking control of them, etc., etc. It's quite fascinating. This is exactly the same arguments that we hear today.
I was just going to ask how, 'cause that's incredible, and how cool to be behind something as, new and innovative as that. It's so smart. But yeah, talk a little bit about what that all looks like now today, in terms of like the same challenges and things that you're having.
No, but I can hear myself repeat myself when I talk to. I mean, when you speak to the regulators, we need to have a higher canalization. In Sweden, it's down to like low 70%. And the market is not working as a regulated market unless we go up to 90%. And it's exactly the same arguments. It's much, much better to keep them within the system. Today, the system is not only Svenska Spel and ATG. Today, the system is 40, 50 operators in Sweden and hundreds in UK, etc., etc. Right. So the regulation works. Regulating the gaming market is a good thing. It should be regulated. But if like 30% of the players or the volume is played outside the regulation, it's broken. So basically, we're talking about the same things today.
Yeah.
And I got spanked. I got like, when I told this, we have to protect the market. I think we should actually do IP blocking and payment blocking. And I was in the media called communist. You are a bloody communist. And today I hear my colleagues from the other side at that time saying the same thing.
Yeah. I bet
it makes me laugh.
For sure. It takes, it takes viewpoints on both sides, but you have to be open to kind of seeing the entire picture, or somebody that can kind of see a future lens instead of just the current present. Do you have any any ideas that you're working on in terms of how you keep that?
Yeah,
Game?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, from a company perspective, not offering a player protection is not an option legally, but also brand wise. And yes, I mean, if we look at the men's, and this is actually this is kudos to Alexander Stevendal, who's the founder and the CEO of the operational business. A couple of years ago, they decided to change the strategy. So taking down the ARPU by lowering the limits for the players we want to have. So
Okay.
our ARPU is down compared to like 3-4 years back, almost 40-45%. And then the new strategy is to start growing from that level without increasing the ARPU. Because we don't want the high rollers. We don't want the VIP players. We want to be a recreational brand, because the recreational brands will be much more sustainable over time. The only thing you know about when you get a problematic gambler playing, they burn. I mean, it's a tragedy for the player, but it's not that very good for the operator either, because you lose a customer.
Right.
So better trying to kind of tone them down to play on a more normal level. And that's what we're trying to do. And I think Immense has done a lot of smart things in this, and the bold things, actually daring to put limits on how much you are allowed to deposit and how much you're allowed to spend, etc., and actually deliberately taking down ARPU.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
incredible point, because I think as someone who's played some games in the past, I'm not a massive gambler, but to think that a company would actually not want to take all of my money is a completely mind-blowing
Yeah.
concept.
Yes. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and this is also important. I don't mind taking all of your gambling budget.
right,
But if your gambling budget is all of your money, no, I don't want to take them. And
right.
this is the entire thinking behind this is, as long as you as a player is green, meaning you have control, then you decide. But as soon as we can see now the indicators that you are kind of getting a bit out of control, we stop sending marketing. And then when you go really out of control, we try to take you down and not gamble. And this is the big question right now. Should we block you, or should we keep you? And this is perhaps the most difficult question, because we know that when we block you and you are on kind of in the beginning of your I want to gamble more, the itch is quite strong. You go
Yeah.
elsewhere. You go outside the system. And then as a society, we totally lose control. So
Yeah.
this balance, I would say the next level of regulation is when the operators and the regulators understands that it's more important to keep the player. But if you are allowed to keep the player, you have to take a lot of responsibility as an operator. You can't just take all the money. You have to get them to tune down their playing. It's super difficult, and it might not even be possible to get some of the players to stop playing because they
Sure.
have this itch, but we have to try.
Yeah, I think that's maybe well, I don't know the back end of the regulations in the US, but that feels like that's maybe where there's a bit of a moral difference with the regulations that are in Sweden and maybe what's here that I'm seeing in the US.
That might be. No, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Immense and kind of the transformation that it's made since you've joined. And you joined, what, about 7 months ago or so?
Yes, I've been working with them as an advisor for quite some
Okay.
time, and now we have kind of turned that into a regular CEO role of the holding company. And this is extremely important to me to say. Alexander Stevendal is still the CEO of the operating company in Malta. All the
Gotcha.
operational decisions is his and his C-level team. I'm in my capacity. I'm more of a sounding board to Alexander. We talk every week and we meet and such and we discuss, but he's making the decisions. My role is a long-term strategic and also from an ownership perspective. How should this company be owned in the coming 3 to 4 years? They're free owners today. It might be that we do a public listing. It might be that we do something else. So that's a major part of my work right now.
That's great. Thank you for, that making that distinction. That makes a lot of sense. A lot of the research that I was doing pointed to you helping move this from a single brand online casino to now a multi-brand operator. So can you talk a little bit about what that's like to bring on, new brands under that holding company, and how that challenge looks, or how challenging it is to do that?
I mean, the first step is quite simple. That first step was already started years back, and people don't really remember, or perhaps not realize this, but it's like 4 years back. Video Slots launched Mr. Vegas, which is a brilliant name. You took half of the Mr. Green and half of the Leo Vegas brand, and you put it together. and once again, kudos to Alexander to do that, because that brand is today larger, basically, or the same size as Video Slots. So that has been a fantastic growth story. And now, and based on that, it's not that difficult to realize, okay, let's try this again and try this again and try this again. So now we launched three more brands, Kungaslottet in Sweden, Mega Riches in UK, and actually Sweden as of May, and DBet, our sportsbook brand that we are kind of floating a bit carefully in the Swedish market to start with. And the reason behind this is that, okay, we need to grow, but we don't want to grow based on hiring the ARPU. We don't kind of want more money from the players than the average we have today, give and take. So how do you do that? Yeah, well, you reach new players, and you reach new players through new brands. And then you can diversify, because every brand in itself will have its own DNA. Now, okay, the DNA is kind of the immense DNA, but it has their own characteristics.
Yeah.
Being a Video Slots is a core slots brand, I would say, even if it's had a sportsbook and live casino, but with the battle of slots and all these amazing features that they have been running for years, while DBet is a pure sportsbook brand, and then we have everything in between.
Yeah, and I imagine each brand has its own demographic that kind of leans to
Yes, and Kungaslottet will be a Swedish-only brand. We will experiment with that only in Sweden. So yeah, they're going to be that's kind of a pretty straightforward and simple strategy. And then if you combine that, what you do here is that you do something that you know that you're really good at, running gaming brands. Yeah, and then you grow in this direction by more brands. But then on that, you add more markets. Then you double or actually quadruple the growth potential.
Right.
So yeah, that's the way to do it.
With Mr. Vegas, I was looking, obviously they have had a kit sponsorship now for the last few seasons with, and please excuse me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, West Bromwich Albion. Is that how you pronounce the team name?
Yeah.
Fairly close. Talk a little bit about how you all decide what partnerships make sense, for sponsorships, and knowing that, was that to try to get into a new market? Was that to grow in an area where you already had a big presence? Talk a little bit about that.
Actually, this all comes back to Marco, our CMO. He's one of the best I've worked with. He's really, really cool. And really, really good at this. And this is, he built that brand in a fantastic way. I mean, it's not only, we're sponsoring a Premier League football club, but they're also sponsoring the Dart. And that has been amazing. And with that, we have this brand character, Mr. Vegas himself, coming out as a kind of a better Elvis impression than most you can see in Las Vegas. And combining these things, I have seen unfortunately, I haven't been able to be on any of these big Dart events, but that's a place where the audience go crazy, totally crazy. I mean, bananas. And then comes Mr. Vegas up there, and he sings to this audience, and they are singing the Mr. Vegas song. It's amazing to see. But this is Marco's brain. I don't know how it's constructed, but it comes out brilliant things. And yeah, of course, this is a way to work with brands. And also, I mean, you can say that, okay, I'm on a jersey or a sponsor to a football club or whatever, but that builds confidence. That builds sustainability. I know this from the Svenska Spel. We sponsored every national team, not every, but the football, the ice hockey, the bandy, the floorball, etc., etc., etc. And that builds a commitment to society. You see that brand day after day after day, in relationship with something that you like, football or ice hockey or whatever. So could look like an expensive way to get out there because you can't just calculate the NDCs you're getting from that investment, but it's kind of a foundation for the brand to stand on. And I think Marco and his team has combined that in an extremely clever way, doing like TV, radio, under the line media, a lot of social media, and then you have this as the kind of the foundation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I remember I had a short stint in an e-commerce company called Euroflorist, sending flowers all over Europe. We're active in 12 countries, and an amazing company from southern Sweden. And we had this marketing guru there, and he was. We had like 80% of the budget was in Google advertising. I said,
okay. Yep.
And we did both. We bought and we had organic. And I asked him, okay, we are top on organic, sending flowers to mother on Mother's Day. We just pick it. We're up there. Why do we pay to be top of paid media or paid links? And he said, well, if you see it twice, the likelihood, because then you see it's organic. If it's organic, you believe it. And then you scroll down a bit and then you meet it again and then you click. And he was so right. So we tested this, of course, back and forth and kind of having something that is the foundation. That was the organic search. And still a lot of people still scroll down to see what came down a bit. And then came the paid. And yeah, it makes sense. And it's the same here. You have to combine.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, because even as a consumer, like you said, if I see something organically or I've taken the action to look it up, I don't feel as sold to, or as, it doesn't feel as, oh my God, my phone's listening to me and here's this ad again, that I just happen to listen to, all those sorts of things.
Yeah. So they exactly. So they kind of support each other. So the paid got better results when you also had organic. And it's also that's also why you should, at least back in the days when I was involved in this, you should never run an internet campaign without doing some TV, because they kind of build the trust. Today that's perhaps not the same validity, but yeah.
Are there any other fun campaigns or fun ways that you all have marketed your brands to start with that organic portion, other than, let's say, sports sponsorships?
Yes. I mean, in Sweden, when I started here, and this is why, back to Alex and Marco again, I just saw I saw 5 delivery tracks with Mr. Vegas on the side. So then they bought all the delivery tracks from one company and told them, we want a year. We want to kind of just paint the cars with Mr. Vegas for a year. And they're still rolling out there with the Mr. Vegas, and it sneaks up on you. It's like, it comes when you're standing in the waiting for the green light to turn on in your car or on your bike or walking. And just comes this track with Mr. Vegas. So yeah, but they're trying all these different things, and I don't know, perhaps not everyone is working, but it seems we have an extremely good marketing KPIs. I mean, the marketing efficiency that we measure every month it's brilliant.
That's great. No, I think there's something. I was speaking with a CMO not too long ago, and they were talking about how important buzz is to them. While they have all of their paid media and traditional forms of advertising, there is something about being out in the community and just creating a buzz. And while you might not be able to measure that as easily as, a banner ad or something like that, you can feel it. And there's a different feeling when there's a buzz in the community.
Yeah, no, I mean, the best thing that could happen is that someone wins like 200 million in a casino.
Right.
Because that's going to create a buzz. That buzz is, I mean, you can't put a number on that, on the value of that buzz.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say that's actually one of the things that builds Svenska Spel. When I was at Svenska Spel, one of the most profitable and largest product was a scratch ticket called Trisslotten. Triss is free in Swedish. You should scratch free of kind. And when I came there, I thought, okay, it's like 25% of our profit, one product. And everyone is buying it. You could see it before Christmas, you could see on the sales statistics how it just counted like a crazy countdown. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of scratch tickets every day. And okay, we have to build another one. And I put the smartest game people on that, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then I started to do some research into, okay, why did this game became the most popular scratch ticket in Sweden, and being such a large part of our history and our revenue and our profit? Then I did some digging, and I spoke to some old, or not old, but some people that have been there with the start. And apparently they launched it. It went okay. And then suddenly they had, after a couple of weeks, they have this first million winner. So media started to write about it. You can win $1 million. This is a life-changing kind of money. This is back in the 70s. It was a lot of money, or late 70s, early 80s perhaps. And they were starting to write about this. And then people noticed. They started to go to the tobacco shops and started to buy it. Then they had a fire in the printing facility where they printed the scratch tickets.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it became a shortage, which meant it was queues. It became queues for buying this, and media caught up with this and starting to write about you can't get hold of the $1 million tickets anymore, and this is the way to get your tickets, etc., etc., etc. And then it just started to roll. So it's
Crazy.
in that sense, it was the buzz.
Yep.
But you can't create that buzz. You have to have a lot of luck and good timing to get that buzz.
And it's absolutely what everybody is chasing. It's like, what is that next thing that we do that's going to somehow give us that virality that, or organically makes people talk about us? It's so true.
Yeah, and 99% of that comes from pure luck.
Yeah.
Yes, you need a good campaign, you need a good product, but that product and that campaign basically need some luck to fly like that. And you don't know that. You don't know where to get that. You can't plan that. That's a bit depressive, especially when you're doing marketing and product development.
No, I think if anything, the takeaway is you have to be willing to, have some at-bats and try some things that maybe don't work, but you also might get that big winner that does work. It's like playing a scratch-off ticket. You never know, but you can't win unless you try.
No. And the better you try, the better you make the product, the larger is the likelihood that it actually get some luck. There's this classic interview with one of the best downhill skiers in the world, in Sweden, Ingemar Stenmark. The reporter told him that and he probably had some luck in some of the races there around the Olympics. And the reporter said, yeah, you were really lucky today. And then this super cool guy from the northern part of Sweden just replies, yes, it's strange. The more I train, the more luck I have. And that's basically the same thing. Yeah, if you don't, you have to try hard. You have to do better and better and better. And then luck might come, or it's a bigger chance that it comes.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. I think, I'll probably get the exact saying wrong, but a great quote is that, success comes from preparation, and getting lucky then at the right time will equal success. It takes a little bit of luck for sure.
Yeah. But basically all big company successes comes with good timing. I mean, we have seen hundreds and hundreds of cases where a really, really good product didn't fly because the timing was wrong.
Well, and I think that's why, someone like you that has that future lens and comes in for the strategy, that's, a big part of your job is being able to maybe track when that timing feels right or when it looks right, or that you've had a lot of success being able to pinpoint when that might be.
Yeah. No, but absolutely. And that's one of the beauties with getting gray hair. Actually, it comes with some experience, wisdom and experience. And I stopped being kind of operational a couple of years back and been advisor and board member. And that's when I started to realize, shit, I know what you're talking about. I've been here before. I've seen this. Why are you not doing like this?
Yeah.
And then, so there's a lot of wisdom to be accumulated over the years.
No, I think that's great. To kind of wrap up this portion of the podcast, where do you see the future of gaming, it could be specifically in Sweden, moving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, that's actually gaming is international, so the local differences are so small. I must say. I mean, we're playing the same lottery in Sweden as we do in UK, as we do in West Virginia, as we do in Ghana, etc., etc. We
Right.
play the same games. So I think I can talk from an international point of view, and this is of course my view on it. Gaming is here to stay. Gaming, the first, basically, when we started trading with things, let's call it money. It was probably shelves and whatever in the beginning. But as soon as we started doing that, we have been gambling those assets. No, but looking at this from an international perspective, gambling will I mean, we've been gambling 5 to 10 years. We've been gambling since basically the invention of cash or money. So
Right.
that will continue. I think we will see there will be a merge between gambling and gaming. That's in my book so obvious. We see that's already happened with the loot boxes,
Yeah.
basically. But I also think that there will be these things will merge much more clearly. And basically, when I'm playing Candy Crush, I have an opportunity to bet on some of the gems, and I want to do that because I think it's fun. It enhances the game, etc., etc. We will see that. So that's one of the things. We will see more game shows. People are we can see that already with Evolution have a huge success with all these game shows, and I understand why. It's entertaining. So gaming will be more and more entertaining. It will still be for absolutely clicking on the slot machine or betting on the sports book, but we will see them more integrated also. I think in 10 years' time, if I want to, I will have a floating overlay of my football game where I can do the live betting instead of sitting there with my phone. It will be already on the screen, and as point, I want to bet next goal down by Manchester United or whatever. So it will be more integrated into the streamed games.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And once again, but the most important part is that we will blur the lines between gaming and gambling.
That makes sense. I mean, gosh, with all of the VR headsets and everything that they already have, that overlay is definitely going to happen.
I mean, the VR headsets will be massive in gaming, but not until the VR headsets looks like this.
It's so true. Yeah, you can't wear a 20-pound headset around.
No one will do that. But when they look like this, it's going to be one of the biggest development in iGaming. Yeah. Definitely. Especially live sports. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. Short story. When I graduated college about, I don't know, I think 13 years ago or so, my commencement speech speaker actually said, you know, in 10 years or whatever the case, we're a little bit late, but we'll have the glasses that can do all of these things. He was already talking about it back then. And I was like, oh man, it sounded so futuristic. But now it's like, yeah, of course, that's definitely going to happen. Yeah,
it's going to happen. It's going to take some time. It's going to take another 10 years, but it will most likely happen. Yeah. And then AI will have a huge impact. Firstly, on how we can make the running the companies more efficiently. It will help us with detecting fraud in a more precise way. It will help us detecting problematic gambling in a faster and smarter way. So it will have a huge impact on how we manage and operate our companies to the positive side. And then it will also eventually come up not only in game production, but in games per se. The game will kind of adapt to who you are and what you want to play and so forth in ways that we don't really understand today.
Yeah.
And this is a bit a cool thing with the future. You and I, as human beings, we can only think linear.
Yeah.
A phone can only get smaller or bigger. I mean, we can't think exceptional in a what's that in English? But exponential curve. We can't think. But development with Moore's law, and if you add quantum computing on that in the future, we can't imagine how the future will look like. Right. We can only imagine it as a version of what we see today, but it will go so much faster and it will happen so many things that we don't understand today. And some of these will also happen within iGaming.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So my take here is keep an open mind. That's my key message to my kids and to everyone these days. You have to keep an open mind because it goes so fast right now.
Love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and be willing to learn the new things that come that seem maybe a little scary or new.
Yeah.
Be
Yes. No,
open
you have to.
to
I mean, I've been doing. I basically my title has been transformation
Mhm.
CEO. I've been hired to transform companies from offline to online and being in board to help oversee transformation from offline to online. But the next transformation is AI, and that is so huge. So it's so much bigger than the online or the internet transformation. And no one. I mean, today everyone is online and having that as part of your business, a substantial. Even if you sell hamburgers, McDonald's, they wouldn't exist without being online in all different ways. And the
Mhm.
same will go with AI, but with a
Oh,
bigger impact.
well, that's awesome and exciting to kind of see where everything moves. And
Yeah.
I know everyone will be interested to just keep watching, the immense group and what they continue to do and how they continue to grow. So thank you for all of that background. That was really interesting. It was great.
Yeah, my pleasure.
What I'd love to do now is just so everyone gets to know you a little bit more on a personal basis. I'm going
Yeah.
to go through those fast questions, little rapid fire questions round, and then I will give you back your day. Sound good?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So, because you're from Sweden, I have to ask, there's a massive trend right now on TikTok in the US about Swedish candy.
Mhm.
Do you like candy? And if so, what is your favorite Swedish candy that everybody in the US should be trying?
I love candy, and no one will try my candy. It's salt licorice.
Ooh, salted
Yes,
licorice.
yes,
Is it black licorice
salted licorice.
or is it red?
No, it's black licorice. It comes, but and then you combine it with raspberry.
Oh, that
So
actually sounds
yeah,
fantastic. I love black
yeah,
licorice. I've
yeah.
never had
So
salted.
good. So yeah, no, it should be salted, but that's my absolutely favorite, and I love candy. And my grandmother's brother was starting this candy factory that still exists, and so I'm grown up on candy. Yeah,
Oh, I love it. Me too. I'm obsessed with candy. It's
yeah.
terrible. It's a bad habit, but I can't stop. Okay, person dead or alive that you'd most like to sit down to dinner with?
Alive, it would be Barack Obama.
Cool.
Yeah, he's such a brilliant person. I think I never met him, but I've seen, of course, a lot of him, and I would love to sit and listen to him analyzing the world of today in a kind of a non. I mean, in the way that he could, like just laying out there as it is. That would be totally amazing. And then.
You can pick someone dead if you want, but you don't have to.
No, but that would be easily Nelson Mandela. I mean, I've been had the luxury of cycling a bicycle race down there and up the stairs and everything, and just thinking about him enduring all that time and all that agony, and coming out and being that humble person. It's like if someone did that to me, I would just wanted to kill them. I would go berserk when I get out, and he just comes out as this super. How do you do that?
Yeah,
How are you wired, and where do you get that strength from? So these two people, and if I could have them at the same time, I think that could be a very
fun dinner party.
yeah, it would be a great dinner party. I think it would be more fun than people actually would think.
Oh gosh, with the experience both of them have had, yeah,
Yeah.
the stories would be
Yes.
incredible.
And if
Yeah,
they are and being that intellectual as they also have a very good sense of humor, I would assume. So it would be
yeah,
really fun. Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
What is your favorite city in the world?
That's Stockholm. I love my city. I love Stockholm. But if you ask me where I want to go next time, I'm going to Seoul in Korea. Me and my wife and some friends in January. So that's my next kind of. I'm really hyped to doing that, and then from there to Tokyo. But otherwise, I mean, Stockholm is my city. I love it. I tried to move, but we came back.
Sweden looks stunning. I've never been to to Sweden in general, but yeah, it looks like such a beautiful place.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit biased, but yeah.
Well, that's okay. Um, in 30 years, what do you think people will be nostalgic about?
Oh, I was a bit scared of my impulsive answer there.
Oh, what was it?
Oh,
I'd love to know what
yeah,
that was.
yeah, no, that's democracy and truth.
Oh,
Yeah, that's sorry, sorry,
good time.
sorry for ending on the deep, deep
No,
level here. But as the world is looking right now with wars and so much kind of people trying to influence what other people are thinking by spreading false news and false information, and whether that's vaccine or wars or politics. I'm a bit scared that my kids and my grandkids, more importantly, will perhaps have a different view on democracy and truth, and that yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
bit scary. I get it.
yeah, a bit scary. Sorry to take it down a note there.
Oh, not at all. Listen, it's not something that you can escape right now. Like it
Yeah,
is the current world, and
yeah,
so it's just what's happening. So no,
yeah.
I get it. On a crazier, more positive note, if your team had to describe your energy or your vibe, or just you as a person, by a cocktail, what drink would you be? What drink do you
Oh,
think would say you are?
I would be something really fizzy. Help me here, a fizzy drink, a lot of bubbles.
Something with a
Uh,
spritz. You'd be some type of spritz, maybe with
it
champagne.
would be a spritz. Yeah, yeah, champagne, but champagne is a bit too delicate. I love champagne, so it's not that. But I'm uh that would be, yeah, it would be a
It
champagne,
could
yeah,
still
a
be a
champagne
spritz.
drink.
It could have the bubbles, but then it could be mixed with some type of, stronger liquor,
Yes,
like a
it could.
gin maybe, or yeah, something
Yeah.
like
No, but
that.
the energy, the energy should come from the bubbles in the champagne, and
Uh-huh.
then we have to tone it down a bit with and put in uh some really fruity passion fruit for I have passion. I go in 110% in everything I do. And so, yeah, so it will be champagne mixed with passion, and then
Sounds
you can spice
delicious.
it with whatever you want. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. A spicy passion fruit spritz. That sounds great.
Yes, exactly.
Sounds
Let's try
lovely.
that. Yeah,
Good.
that's good.
Okay, and then last question. Or if you could give me a couple of companies or different marketers that you're just loving what they're doing right now with their companies, can you give
Mm.
me a couple of those examples of people that you're watching right now?
Actually, I'm into Reebok and Shaquille O'Neal right now. I love what they're doing with that brand. As taking a brand that basically everyone has a relationship to, and then they lose their position, and then you take it back. It's such a cool. I shouldn't compare, but we did something small. I mean, something similar with Mr. Green, because Mr. Green came like woo, a rocket, and then it lost its kind of foothold. It was like a lost teenager, being the coolest kid in the class, and then come to university, and no one really liked him anymore, and he was just standing there and looking like a fool. And then we had to revitalize him again. And
Yeah,
that's such a cool thing to do. And Rick, and that marketing team we had with the brand owner Rick and Ronaldo and the marketing team back in the days did a fantastic job with just revitalizing him, and so that impresses me. And Reebok is doing that right now with Shaquille O'Neal, the basketball legend. I love it. It's such a cool thing. Otherwise, I'm also into. I like the companies that sustain their position over so long time, like a Coca-Cola. It's and then how they move the trend from being flattish, seeing the risk with sugar, that this will be the next kind of tobacco. People will look at it and it will be not banned, but it will be perceived as a bad thing, etc. And then they entered the light, and then they saw the zero coming, and they just once again they put new energy into that brand. These
yeah,
things impresses me a lot.
I love that.
Yes, they have the biggest budget in the world, they have the smartest people in the world, but still they
Doesn't
could
make it any
fail.
less impressive. Yeah,
No, it doesn't. They could have failed easily, and they didn't. But yeah, so they kept it, and Reebok lost it, and taking it back again. I think that's
that's
cool.
great. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Well, Jesper, thank you so much. This was
Thank
super
you.
fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, I learned a
Okay.
lot. And
Yeah.
we'll post this, of course, on Spotify and everywhere. But if people are interested in following along with Immense Group or with, your journey, where can they find you?
Immensegroup.com.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Well,
Brilliant. Good to
thank
see
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Really appreciate it.
The same. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks so much, everyone, for listening. That wraps up another episode of CMO Weekly, where marketing leaders are keeping it real. If you got something out of today's conversation, share it with a teammate, drop us a review, or hit follow so that you're never missing an episode. And we'll be back soon with more stories, strategies, and surprises from the minds that are shaping modern marketing. See you all soon.